Because of the player pool you're playing against, mastering these things is going to have a massive impact on your results. The most important thing for people to understand when they are going to start playing low stakes tournaments is they really need to master the fundamentals. Getting a good idea of your opening pre-flop ranges is certainly a great way to start, because other people in these fields are definitely making all sorts of mistakes. And if you can get one step ahead of them with your pre-flop game, then it's going to put you in a real advantageous position. The best thing you do is study a chart, even just 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes before your session, it'll put you in a great position going into your game. Position is another really important fundamental thing to understand about poker, and not a lot of people understand it straight away because it doesn't make the most sense to a new player. If you're in position and the last to act on the flop, you get to make a choice, whether you want to bet there or do you want to take a free card. And this can really enhance our win rate. It can really improve our position in the hand itself. There's a lot to understanding your pre-flop ranges as well. There's many different positions on the table. So going around the entire table, your range will change dramatically for each position that you're in. There's also other things you have to consider as well. What if you've opened, what if you've raised, and a player is 3-bet you? You then have to think about their range and think about what your range is now. There's more things to consider than just what the chart says. You have to understand many things about where you are in the tournament, how the shape of the table is, like what the stacks are on the table around you. So that can really change the sort of hands you might open. It's important to be aggressive in low stakes tournaments, especially when you're playing against more inexperienced players. People tend to fold way too much on the flop and on the turn, on the river. It's a big problem for their game, but it could be a very big benefit for your game. If you're finding more bets on flops, on turns, on rivers, your opponents are going to find more folds and you're going to pick up more chips. For example, if you've raised and the big wind's defended and flop is 10-5-4 rainbow, that's such a dry board. All you need to do is come in there with a small bet after they've checked you from the big blind, and they're going to fold a whole bunch. You don't want to be giving off free cards and letting them continue into the hand and catch up. Does aggression mean bluffing more? I don't think it necessarily means bluffing more, but it means bluffing more concisely and more correctly and making sure you're finding all the spots to bluff in. So if you have studied your pre-flop ranges and you understand what your hands might look like, you can use that as part of your aggression. The ranges of your opponent, when they've defended up the big blind, for example, they're never going to be as strong as someone who's open from early position, mid position, especially when the board comes high. All the big cards come out, ace, king, 10, things like that. You know, that's where you get to use it to your advantage because you have all of those cards in your range. They have less. People can get a little bit carried away with aggression, especially when playing low stakes tournaments as well, because I did mention people fold far too much, but there's also other breeds of player who call way too much. And if you've identified one of those players as calling way too much and you know this, you definitely don't want to be bluffing too much. You want to put yourself in positions where you're going to win lots of chips at showdown, because if this player's never folding, then you're not going to likely get the bluff through as often. Note-taking and tagging your players in tournaments, all that stuff is really useful. I do it all the time because more often than not, you come against players which you have played before if you're playing in the same tournaments all the time. As poker is a game of limited information, having as much information as you can on hand is so important. So if you've seen a player make some ridiculous cooldown with bottom pair or ace high or something in a spot they should never be in, you got to tag that so you know in future not to do it again and to bet big with all your big hands. Bankroll management and low stakes tournament poker is crucially important, especially if you've recently sort of graduated to playing small stakes tournaments from, I don't know, free rolls or play money and things like that. You want to make your money last, you want to make your bankroll last. And the way I go about it is I use 1% of my bankroll for an individual buy-in, or the top end of my buy-in, for example. So let's say I have $100 in my bankroll. I'm not going to pay higher than $1 per tournament because I want to make that last. Because in poker, it's inevitable we're going to go on streaks where we just don't win as much as we would like. We have to protect our bankroll from the streaks like that. And when we are winning, it is going to exponentially rise. I think people are quite reckless with their bankrolls, especially when playing low stakes tournaments, because it is such a small amount of money, like you said. Because if you're meant to be a $1 tournament, be like, oh, well, it's only 5. Well, you've gone from having 100 buy-ins to having 20. It changes dramatically. You can churn through your bankroll super fast. And another thing is, the higher you go, generally, the better the players are going to be. So you really need to be careful in the way you're stepping up. And if you're comfortable moving up, your bankroll is growing, usually means you're getting better and you're ready for it. But if it's not quite there yet, maybe you're rushing ahead. Strategy aside, another really important thing when playing low stakes tournaments, or any tournaments for that matter, is staying mentally sharp. It's very important to sort of keep your brain in check. Let's say, for example, you're playing a session and on your final tournament that you've been playing, took a terrible beat and you're really frustrated. Maybe you're one away from the final table and, you know, getting a big score or something. The worst thing you could possibly do then is say, hey, I want to play another tournament now and carry on playing. The worst thing to do is playing frustrated. Always good to take breaks, look after yourself mentally. In addition to mental breaks, take care of yourself, take care of your body, take care of, your legs. You're sitting down for long stretches of a session. I like to get up every sort of break time. I always get up and walk around. Make sure you're hydrated. I'm always getting water constantly. Healthy snacks are great to have a long session as well. To give you like a nice energy boost. Studying is the most important thing to do for your poker game. But it's crucial to take care of your body, take care of your mind, because without those things, we're never going to be on top of your game, and that's always going to be the best results.